For centuries, the Galactic Council believed humanity to be a polite and cooperative species. They joined late into the interstellar era. Yet from the moment Earth was welcomed into the stars, their ambassadors were known for calm manners, quiet diplomacy, and respectful negotiation. Human delegates often bowed slightly before speaking. They smiled at insults. They offered apologies for interruptions that were not their fault. While other species argued and postured for dominance, humanity seemed content to listen, to mediate, and to adapt. The Council mistook that for weakness. It began during the annual assembly on the neutral world of Harith Prime. The chamber was filled with hundreds of delegates, each representing a civilization spread across the spiral arm. The air shimmered with holographic displays, banners of countless worlds floating in bright light. Humanity's envoy, Ambassador Daniel, stood near the center platform, his hands folded behind his back, waiting for his turn to address the session. That day, the Council debated trade routes, resource allocation, and border disputes. Humanity's colonies had grown swiftly, their technology advancing at a speed that alarmed the elder empires. Quietly, they had built fleets for exploration, infrastructure for expansion, and alliances for cooperation. Yet to the Council, it appeared harmless, until the Terran Dominion brought forth emotion. The Terran delegate rose from his seat, his scaled face glinting beneath the artificial light. "Honored Council," he said, his voice carrying through the chamber. "We propose the reassignment of the Sol sector under shared Council administration. Humanity's rapid expansion poses a potential imbalance. For stability, we recommend their fleets be integrated under joint supervision." Murmurs spread instantly. Some delegates nodded in agreement. Others avoided eye contact. Ambassador Daniel remained silent for a moment. Then he smiled. "Honored Council," he began calmly, "we appreciate the concern for balance and unity. However, Earth will respectfully decline joint administration. We are quite capable of managing our own territories." The Terran delegate's tail flicked. "Ambassador, this is not a suggestion. This is a directive under the Stability Act. The Sol sector is now under review. Human fleets will report for inspection." The chamber grew tense. A few members looked uneasy, aware that this went far beyond normal council procedure. Daniel's polite tone never wavered. "Under review," he repeated softly. "You mean occupied?" No one answered. The council chair tried to calm the situation, speaking in measured tones, but the damage was done. Within the hour, the council ratified the Terran motion. 58 votes in favor, 19 against. Humanity had been officially placed under joint protection. The human delegation stood still. No outbursts, no visible anger, only quiet acceptance. Daniel bowed once more, thanked the council for their time, and requested to return to his ship to relay the message to Earth Command. The request was granted. The recording of that session was later replayed across 1,000 worlds. It showed nothing alarming. No threats. No harsh words, just a polite man leaving a chamber filled with smug smiles. But outside the hall, Daniel sent a single encrypted message back to Earth. 2 words, courtesy suspended. For the next 72 hours, the galaxy continued as usual. The Council believed humanity would comply. Their fleets were small compared to the ancient empires. Their influence limited, yet subtle shifts began to appear in the outer sectors. Patrol beacons stopped transmitting. Long-range trade convoys vanished without distress calls. Sensor buoys near human space went dark. The first sign of something greater came when the mining moon of Crest 9 reported strange lights emerging from a human relay gate. Then came silence. When a Terran scout fleet investigated, all they found was drifting metal, scorched and silent. Back on Harith Prime, the Council demanded an explanation. Ambassador Daniel returned via secure channel. His tone was calm, but the warmth was gone. "The review you imposed has been acknowledged," he said. "The Sol sector is now closed. Any entry will be treated as an act of aggression," the Terran delegate hissed. "You dare threaten the Council?" Daniel didn't blink. "We don't threaten. We inform." The broadcast ended there. Within hours, the Council assembled an emergency fleet. Hundreds of ships gathered at the borders of human space to ensure compliance. The first to arrive was the Dominion Armada, vast carriers and destroyers designed to intimidate. They entered near Proxima Station, expecting to encounter token resistance. What they found instead was silence. Proxima's orbital facilities were offline, dark and cold. The fleet advanced cautiously. Then, one by one, their systems began to fail. Jamming signals flooded their channels. Power grids flickered. Engines died. Before any could issue commands, the void around them came alive with light. Human ships emerged, sleek, angular, silent. Their hulls bore no markings. Their formation was perfect. No grand announcement, no threat broadcast. Only a single transmission repeating on all frequencies. Courtesy mode offline. The battle that followed was not recorded in full. The Dominion fleet vanished from sensors. Fragments of their vessels were later found drifting toward nearby stars. The Council sent another task force. It never returned. On Harith Prime, panic spread among the delegates. Some argued for negotiation. Others demanded retaliation. The Council chair tried to contact Earth directly, but every attempt was met with a repeating signal, 3 short tones. Then the skies above Harith Prime darkened. Thousands of lights filled orbit, human ships arranged with mathematical precision. They had arrived without being detected by any defense network. The chamber fell silent as an emergency broadcast came through. It was Daniel. He stood against a background of cold steel and stars. His voice was level, each word deliberate. For centuries, humanity believed diplomacy was strength. We offered peace, compromise, and respect. You took that as permission. You mistook courtesy for submission. You believed silence meant consent. No one dared interrupt, he continued. We warned you once when you imposed control over our systems. We asked for dialogue. You chose dominance. Today that choice has consequences. The Council chair's voice trembled. Ambassador, the Council never authorized violence. Daniel tilted his head slightly. The Council authorized occupation. We simply responded accordingly. The holographic display behind him shifted, revealing countless fleets in motion, coordinated, disciplined, relentless. Across the galaxy, human forces struck with precision. They targeted military outposts, command hubs, and shipyards. No civilian worlds were touched. Every human attack was calculated, efficient, and final. One delegate whispered, "This is impossible." Their fleet size was limited. Daniel's calm eyes met the camera. You never counted the colonies beyond your maps. You never noticed the silent worlds that stopped sending trade reports. You never asked where our convoys really went. He paused. You thought you ruled the stars. You never realized we were learning quietly beneath your gaze. The chamber shook as the defense network over Harith Prime went offline. Human ships disabled orbital cannons without firing a shot. Systems simply failed under waves of interference. One by one, the Council's security fields collapsed. Daniel spoke again, his voice almost soft. This is not annihilation. This is demonstration. We will not destroy you unless you force our hand. But you will remember this day. You will remember what happens when humanity's courteous mode deactivates. And then, as suddenly as they had appeared, the human fleets withdrew. When the Council regained control of their systems, they found every weapon disabled, every fleet stranded. No lives lost on their side, no debris near their capitals. Just silence and a single file left in their communication archives, a message plain and brief. Respect is not given. It is maintained. The Council spent months rebuilding their networks, haunted by the realization that the humans had spared them intentionally. No one dared approach the Sol sector again. Trade requests were sent in cautious, formal tone. Every communication began with an apology, and every treaty included the phrase, "by mutual respect." Humanity never boasted. Their ambassadors returned to the Council a year later, polite as always. They greeted every species with warmth and restraint, smiled during every discussion, and spoke with calm precision. But beneath the courtesy was something unspoken, a quiet reminder that the politeness they showed was a choice, not a default. The legend of that day spread through the stars. Some called it the Day of Silence, others called it the Courteous Shift. But among human fleets, it was known by a different name, Protocol 1 Reset. It became a warning etched into every command terminal of every ship built after that day. Maintain diplomacy until overridden. Override authorization. Courtesy suspended. No empire ever tested them again. Years passed and the galaxy adapted. The Council rebuilt trust slowly, carefully. Humanity remained a member, contributing technology and aid. Always calm, always reasonable. But every delegate who sat across from a human representative could never forget that moment. when the stars above their worlds went dark, not with destruction, but with quiet, absolute power. They learned that day that humanity's kindness was not a weakness. It was a deliberate restraint, a choice maintained for peace, and they prayed it would never be deactivated again.